Hello, YouTube. We are currently on a Twitch stream, but we're going to do some replay analysis, and this will make its way to the channel. So we're looking at Treant Protector here, Sweet Nausea.
Get ready.
So it's going to be a Spectre Treant lane versus AA Pudge, and one of your questions was how to play the lane a bit better, since Pudge was bullying your Spectre. Pudge spammer. Oh, and a Drow spammer. Oh, this is a Archon game. So first, I would say, who has the wards? Is it
in the bag.
your mid and the off lane? I would ask them if you know there's Pudge in your lane, and I guess it's not super clear this game, but I suppose he's probably the off laner. Yeah, I would, if possible, ask them. If not, I mean, it happens. But definitely, at least as long as you know that, you should be thinking about it.
30 seconds to go.
Did you not have to give... Oh, Witch Doctor gave tangos. Okay. I guess that's fine. So, in my mind, I'm already sort of thinking that you can probably do something similar to what I did in the game we just watched, actually, where you play relatively passive and just keep healing Spectre and let her farm. But let's watch it to make sure. Oh, you just got saved by Roshan. I was about to say, if I see the mid laner here, I would be a little scared to come out. And I might just give up that rune. Okay, we lucked out there. Roshan just saved your life. Okay, block the hard camp. I like that. I would get a little closer before you cast your E. Like, punch him once before, or like throw it out as you punch. Something like that. Just because, like, you want the slow to get more punches in. So if, like, by the time you catch up to him, he's already out of it, then it's like, you could have just walked up and punched him and walked away once. Okay. That was surprisingly more damage than I thought, though. Did he use hook on that? No, he did. Okay. So. Both of them are going to have to spam out spells to, like, do anything. But otherwise, this is a relatively weak lane. So I actually do think you can harass them a bit. I would still focus on, like, getting 2 points in your heal, especially because you want Sage's Mask, and just keep healing up the Spectre. Because honestly, like, Pudge right-click harassing her is not going to do a ton of damage, and neither is AA. The main way she dies, which we'll see, is if she, like, the cold feet into the hook far away. And then I suppose if he has Rot level 2, then that could lead to some, like, super slow kills. But I kind of feel like, I don't know. We'll just see it, actually. Behind. Got it. Yeah, I would still try to wait to get a little closer before casting it. I think right now is probably a good time to do that, like a half pull. Yeah, instead of coming up here, one of the safer times to leave... Oh, okay, it's going to depend on the matchup. But, like, AA Pudge, I think one of the safer times to leave her is, like, right now when they're all level 1. So, like, right around here, I think you can do a half pull with this camp, pull half these creeps, the back half, and then you have a decent amount of creeps up here where Spectre should be relatively safe. So right now, let's pretend you weren't in here. It would still be about 4 creeps to 3 creeps, and she has her Spectral Dagger to, like, escape into the trees. So I think it's, like, just tell her you want to pull, and then just do it. But, like, after this starts to happen, though, you kind of have to just, like, still be in here. So, need some replay bugs here. Like, once you cast this, I would just, like, run at this guy until he's either forced to back away or he has to run further in away from AA. And if they just stand here and fight, it's like the two of you attacking him while these creeps are chasing AA. You have more creeps right here, so this is like an okay time to fight. So being back here when Spectre is currently fighting two of them like this, that is a bit too passive. Especially on Treant Protector, like AA is actually quite fragile, fairly slow hero, and 2 armor. And Pudge has like no armor except he started Ring of Protection. So you're actually very good at right-click trades. Oh, trying to break Cold Feet. Oh yeah, because it's kind of bugged. I think it might actually just be okay. I think if you just stand and fight, that might actually be enough. Because if they switch to attack you because you're stunned, then Spectre is being left alone. And that kind of baits in Pudge. Like, I think this is actually a winning trade for you. Like, there are 3 on attacking him. This here, I would just stand and fight in this case. Actually, you come back and it might be okay. And this is another case where actually I know I'm dead. And so I might actually go try to fight. Because, like, yeah, you have all these creeps. You see how much, like, damage he's taking? I think if you actually just turn and fight him, maybe even pop a salve in between auto attacks. But you kind of know you're dead, so you should at least, like, auto attack once or twice and hope that Spectre can clean it up. And she should. Okay, the creeps get it. And unfortunately, this guy gets out, but it was pretty close. So still overall not that bad of a start. Windlace. What else could we get? I'd pick up this ward. I think the Windlace is okay. I think this ward is definitely good. Instead of the Windlace, though, you might also get a Sage's Mask. To keep in mind that, like, we were going to spam out heal once we get it. And that Spectre, she does use Spectral Dagger to farm a decent amount. So giving her mana from the Bassi is actually pretty good. She's one of the carries, I would say, that can benefit from it. Actually, like, every carry, like, somewhat does. But it's a good lane to start with an Orb of Venom. I would say it's doable, this game, because my first post-start purchase that isn't wards or regen. It's going to depend on your lane. So, like, first, starting Orb of Venom. In this lane, I think it's possible. Especially, okay, well, it's kind of weird. Against Pudge, yes. I think against Pudge, Orb of Venom is good because he has no armor, so you benefit a lot from attacking him. I would have expected Snapfire to be up here more than AA. And against Snapfire, it's not as good because she's a bit tankier of a ranged hero. And she has good spells for when you get on top of her. But AA does not have, like, great spells, and I think he's very fragile to Treant's right clicks. And so if you somehow knew that AA was going to be up here with Pudge, I think Orb of Venom is pretty good. And if you just thought it was going to be like Pudge and Snapfire, I think you could still do Orb of Venom if you wanted to. But I also don't mind going for, like, the Sage's Mask into a Bassi and then just having heals a lot on Spectre. Because Spectre really just wants to farm. She doesn't want to fight so much. So if you get an Orb of Venom, you're not getting it to be aggressive for kills. You're getting it so that you can be a little bit more aggressive in the sense that you will then harass them and make space for Spectre, if that makes sense. So it's like, it's not like getting an Orb of Venom with an Ursa and you're trying to kill them. You're just trying to get more efficient trades to make space for Spectre. Yeah, because of the awful base armor. Yeah, so you get the idea. And then Windlace as a first purchase is generally a safe bet, I would say. But if you're going to do a Sage's Mask build, I also kind of like doing that first, getting the Bassi. Sorry, we should be on your perspective. I'm, like, looking at nothing. Okay, so it looks like you did do a half pull, actually, while I was just looking at absolutely nothing. Next goal right now is to quickly get to level 2 so we have living armor. Be a little careful. Keep in mind of... well, I guess you did just see him use hook. So actually it's okay. But do keep that in mind that, like, if you get hooked under tower, that's, like, one of the few things Pudge can do that, like, really helps him win the lane. I think in this case, you might have actually been safe to just, like, stay with the pull and get the last hits and experience there. Just because there's, like, not that much to do up here. You can't play that aggressively. And if Spectre gets hooked under tower, that's kind of her fault, I think. Oh, Leech Seed. I'm going to guess you went Leech Seed because it looked like you could get a kill there. Yeah. I think that's okay then. I think if you can get a kill and like, okay, I'm going to go for Leech Seed, try to kill this guy, that's fine. In general, I'll say that if you're doing this Sage's Mask build, like, if you planned on getting Leech Seed, then I would want you to get an Orb of Venom, because then it's like Orb of Venom slow, Leech Seed slow, Nature's Grasp slow, and then you have all those, and it's really good. So otherwise, if you're not going to do that, this ends up costing a lot of mana, especially if you're going to now get Living Armor. So yeah, but if you were just, like, doing it because of the opportunity, you thought you could get a kill, then I think that's fine. I won't, like, go further into it. Yeah, I think that's fair then. In fact, I kind of like that because you do want to kind of like be willing to adapt on the fly. To look for that. Okay, come on now, Spectre. Yeah, so you should be able to kill this Pudge actually. Just like right click him. Yep. All right, that's kind of on Spectre's fault for standing still against a Pudge. You know, it's pretty clear Pudge was within hook range, so not much you can do about that. I would stay here for the XP and last hits on these, though. AA is, like, no threat to you, and, like, look how many creeps you have. So I think it's okay to actually, in fact, even push this quickly, like, attack these really quickly, so that it starts to push under tower before Pudge respawns. In this case, it doesn't look like you will be able to do that. But think of it this way, is that this is all the experience, and no matter what, it's going to get to their lane. So whether it stays out here, and then Pudge is able to respawn and get all the XP, or whether you shove it under tower, and then hopefully AA misses some of these last hits, and if these all die, it'll help to start resetting the lane. Whereas if they stay out here, and then like the next wave comes in and they die, like the lane will keep staying up here. So I would try to shove this lane in to help hopefully deny some XP and gold from Pudge at least. But it'll also help to reset the lane if all the creeps die quickly. Used to see. Alright. Since these are weakened, I would pull this whole thing.
Trust me, I know how
See
to
what you
handle
do.
such power.
Oops. I think you were going for a half pull, it looks like. In this case, I think it's okay to do the full pull. Because they're a little weak, I know that this camp will die off pretty quickly. And look where the... yeah, you were going for it. Okay. And look where the lane was. It's like way up here. And so you know that because you didn't shove in the lane earlier, it's okay to do the full pull because the creep wave will still be up here. Your creep wave will kill off this camp and return to the lane before the enemy creep wave ends up under tower. If you had pushed the wave and they all ran under tower, then I think a half pull is good because you want two of your creeps to meet in the lane for their next wave so that the next wave doesn't run under the tower. Yeah, no problem. It happens. As long as you have the right idea of what you're trying to do, like, that's the important part. I mess up pulls all the time. I shouldn't, but I miss last hits, all of that. Everyone makes the mechanical mistakes. But as long as you know what you were trying to do, that's, like, the important part. Looks like a 5-minute rune. You know what's coming up. Alright, you managed to get it. I think. Alright. So, one, I like the idea to try to cut him off, and I guess you were thinking he had the clarity, so you wanted to cancel that, or although maybe that's a replay bug. No, it looks like it's not. But one thing to consider is to try to get this on top of the rune, because you know he's gonna, if he wants to contest it, he's gonna have to stand on here. So if you can get it, if you can get the Nature's Grasp on top of this rune spot, then it forces him to take damage. Whereas now he can like come stand here and not take damage. And then because it looks like it's fighting out, I would just cast Leech Seed right away right now and start fighting it out. Yeah, so just like Nature's Grasp on top of this if possible, and just Leech Seed and fight. But you knew the rune was coming up, and that's kind of like what matters. A good sense of timing for the 5 minutes. And then you can also... should have done this sooner. If you stand... Alright, if you're AA right now, you're clicking... So where you're positioning is pretty good, and you can even move like ever so slightly closer. Because like say I'm AA, you might have to like move your screen like this, and like click over here. So if you physically position your body like right there, it becomes very difficult for AA to like click this area without accidentally clicking you. And I think bounty runes actually have a higher priority to like click them instead of the heroes, but I think mentally, you know, you get in their way. I do that anyways. I should probably test it to see if like if it actually matters, if the bounty rune is just like guaranteed to click first or not. But I do think like positioning in a way so that like AA, if he's looking like this, which honestly he probably is, and if we in fact we can see it. Back. Actually watch AA's perspective on this. He's distracted by your courier, that's why. But yeah, I think like if you're standing here, it's easy to click than like ever so slightly over. But that's just like a really minute thing. Don't sweat it. Okay, probably can't make this pull.
Bottom tower seen better days.
And the Tranquils, unfortunately the courier died. And then we see Spectre get pulled under here. I think you might actually kill this guy. Nice. Tell Spectre you could salve her. I would salve the Spectre there. I know she's kind of close to AA, but you can tell her. Just to like back up a second. I feel like you're more consistent at half full than I am. So this is actually a great example. I think she might have lived if you salved her before leaving, because she'd be more full health, and then she has a chance to like lose him in the woods.
I'm really freaking out.
So anytime you get a kill or your carry is low, just think about salving them. I mean, she still shouldn't like, you know, get hooked by herself. That's like on her. But I still think you want to salve her anyways, because if you wait for Pudge to come back, then it's gonna be like even harder to do. Even if they don't respond, just do it. I think it's okay. Like, let me put it another way. What if you were like, hey, Spectre, I can salve you, and she tells you, no, I want to stay at 200 health to bait hooks. It's just dumb, you know? So the right play is to salve her. Now, if she had her own salve, and you're like, hey, do I salve you? And she goes like, no, I've got my own salve, or like, hey, I've got this regen item, I have tranquils, whatever, I'm fine, then sure. But in general, she has no way to heal up quickly. I would just do it. Rough one on communication, yeah. But sometimes if people don't communicate, you still just have to kind of know. Well, just like make the plays you think are best. And I think in this case, like she's just too low. You gotta salve her up. Actually, let's take a look at the net worth. The Drow's doing well, so is LC. So it looks like just last hits are getting missed, I guess. Go back to you. Alright, now you've got your living armor.
Illusion.
I was kind of thinking, I wonder if it was worth, like you had this blocked earlier, but then I kind of wonder if it would be okay to unblock it at this point. Oh, he's 6. Alright. That's kind of what I want to highlight, is that the lane is here so much. And I know you had the idea of like, okay, in the early game, I don't want this to get pulled. But I kind of feel like at some point, you guys reached the point where you could safely use this. And maybe it was worth... oh, you did mean to? Okay, yeah. I understand. A lot happens. But yeah, so for everyone else, though, I think that, you know, because the lane is here so often, there's only so much you can do with the small camp. But, like, with the hard camp, you can pull this way, all that stuff, and, like, get more creeps denied. And so that might have actually been worth denying. And I think it would have been. Okay, now you're getting the Bassi.
Radiant's mid towers get banged
So we
up.
kind of got distracted with the build because you went the Leech Seed 2, and then you get this at level 3. I guess it's okay to go back to Nature's Grasp. Especially against an AA, maybe. Yeah, actually, I think it's okay. Oh, he almost got away. All right. Spectre is actually at the point, so she's 6 earlier, and at this point you can kind of think about leaving this lane and heading bottom and helping your it's not a helping your Sand King, because Drow is actually still quite... Who is their carry? Why is she here? Maybe she just rotated. Well, if Drow goes bottom, she's actually quite fragile, which means if you like pop out, slow her, and then this guy like burrow strikes. I know you guys were off to a really bad start because your Sand King was like DC'd, so that's kind of tough. You've done the auto attack. Yeah, you got it anyways. Yeah, I think this is the time when you can start going to like try to make plays. Technically, you could try to make a play mid, but it's really hard for Treant Protector. He prefers the side lanes. So if you go bottom and then like you set up a kill, Spectre can haunt in, and then so like for example, let's see who's down here. From support. Oh, because Drow's now in here. You alone can't set it up. You kind of need someone else to do it. But say like Drow was still bottom, and you and Sand King are down here. That's 2 heroes, and then Spectre Haunt is 3. So that would be... It's like how you can start to be active and help your Spectre farm. You draw attention bottom and open up a chance for like Spectre to get kills. This is the right idea, trying to defend mid. Nice. She got... Trying to blink first. She's gonna die for it. Okay, you are low on mana. So I might get a clarity or 2 here. Of Vlad's. I don't think you need a Vlad's. To me, Vlad's is like, I have a PA, a Troll, maybe like Ursa or Sven. These people who are like gonna fight soon, and they fight with a lot of right-click damage. Spectre, I mean, I know she clicks with a right-click, but because like some of it comes from Desolate, and some of it comes from just being tanky and dispersing a lot, she's like actually not... I don't know, she doesn't feel like the ideal candidate for a Vlad's. And especially because she doesn't want to necessarily fight that much. Vlad's is good for like constant team fighting, whereas Spectre is like, I fight when I have Haunt, and then I go back to being by myself, and I don't want anyone near me. Yeah, I think sticking to the naked Bassi is okay. And then, let's see, what could you get? You have an LC. So if you really wanted to, I think Medallion's okay. I think you don't need to blink this game because you have a LC with blink, and you have a Sand King who will eventually get blink. She has Haunt to initiate too if need be. I think a Medallion is okay to go with LC. Maybe a Meteor Hammer. Blink would otherwise also be okay, but you don't need it in this case. Maybe Vlad's is okay. Lifesteal bonus damage. I don't know. I'm not sold on it, I guess. I think like I would probably do Meteor Hammer just because I like that item a lot. But I think like Meteor Hammer or Medallion would be nice. Yeah.
The die of my
Yeah, because he didn't have mana. That is where... Let's go back. So you're healing this tower. You gotta check your mana. Look at your spells and decide what is the most impactful spell I could cast if I don't have enough mana. And it's definitely your ult, you know? I suppose maybe... I guess I don't know what you guys were talking about, but if you know that you want to defend this tower and you want people to rotate in, you want to have overgrowth. If you don't think anyone's going to necessarily come in, then like doing this is like okay to buy time. Yeah, you didn't expect the haunt. Okay, that's fair enough then. But actually this could also be avoided if... Well, it looks like you have your courier on the way. Okay, but it doesn't have a clarity, so that's kind of what I was leading to, where even if you were going to get Vlad's, you still have some extra slots open. So I think like some clarities, magic stick definitely is good to have. Raindrops are okay this game. Yeah, I think you could do raindrops if you wanted to. But yeah, just some stuff to like fill in these slots, and at least buying a clarity or two would help you stay full mana, so that then you could use Nature's Grasp and like a...
Do better than
Fair.
that.
I think Meteor Hammer is okay. I know, okay, it is kind of greedy, I know that, but I also think you can use it in a way that like still helps your team. So like, for example, you have a really sick Overgrowth Meteor Hammer combo, and if you land one of those, that would be really good. It also lets you like split push more, even if you're just using the like just the mana regen from it. Also lets you like check high grounds if you need to. Yule's could kind of be okay this game because of the it gives you a way to cancel her ult, but I don't think that's strictly your job. I think Force Staff is like also kind of okay. I don't love Force Staff as Treant Protector because it breaks your own trees, but to help people get away from like Cold Feet or her, what's this called, Spear Siphon, yeah. Or to like dodge the Snapfire ult, I think that's kind of like okay too. But anyways, getting yourself a couple clarities would be really good. Let's see if you get some now. Doing some inventory management. Okay, there we go. We got some clarities. Might consider a smoke as well. Can I see what you guys have in stock? Yeah, so you have some smokes. I would keep getting smokes and keep looking for duels with LC. You might need one other hero because Treant doesn't add like that much damage, or like not burst damage anyways. Unless she has Haunt, in which case just you and LC is okay, and then she'll Haunt in. But whenever I have an LC, I like to try to make use of a lot of smokes early and keep looking for dual kills.
You know the drill.
You gotta use your Nature's Grasp. That would help kill these creeps off and help get you some gold, hopefully. Although, I guess actually it looked like you guys were setting up a kill, so you didn't want to reveal. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are talking or not. If that was your plan, then I think that's great. If you didn't want to reveal that you were here yet, I think that's pretty good.
This will do nice.
Goal right now is to try to hit level 10. So you have your invis. If possible, let's go back a little bit. So you picked, so you cast that to push it out a bit. Aim to get this rune. See stuff is happening bottom. If you're not sure if you're going to teleport yet, and you're like waiting for 9 seconds anyways, come stand over here just so that like when these creeps die, you get some XP. In this case, they're all dead, so like whatever. But other times, like maybe it pushes up and meets another wave here, kind of like moving over to TP. That way you like just get a bit more XP. It's kind of like this it's kind of minor, but I think it's like not bad to think about. Well, that did go great for your team. But it's kind of okay because you can still defend this bottom tower alone. I would hold your heal. I know this is full health right now, but you know they're coming bottom. Actually, it might be up in time. Nah, so yeah, I think you know no one's top yet, so you like it can stay at a little low health, and I would just be ready to defend this. I'd be up. Okay, definitely come up here and cast Nature's Grasp. You can walk up, cast it, and then back off just to like help kill these creeps a little bit. Also, I would move the camera down a little bit. I don't know what's happening right now. Let's go back. Yeah, so like right now, I'm like looking up here a bit. Okay, wait, let's switch to dire vision. Yeah, I still think even though I know they're casting this, I hunt by sound alone. That's hilarious. Even if they have like this to give vision of you, it's still safe for you to like walk up here, cast Nature's Grasp, because like what really are they going to do to you? At worst, Pudge can try to hook you, but for Pudge to hook you here, he has to be like you know he's not here already, and maybe he's standing over here. Which if we were looking out earlier, maybe we will know. But even then, I think it's worth like walking up, queuing this wave, and then walking out, because if nothing else, it helps deep push, but also you get like a couple of these last hits for gold. And like all of these creeps would be dying off. And I think that'd be pretty good. Too bad you're not 10. Then you'd probably feel safer walking up. Alright, we got some tier 2 neutrals, which means you should be able to take one. Oh no, that's the enemy team that's getting their tier 2 neutrals. Apple and AA cold. Okay, that is fair. What I would say there though is that like if you get some last hits and defend the tower for like a little bit of time and they trade Snapfire ult for that to kill you, I'm like kind of okay with that, even if I die. And if they don't kill you, then like now you're good. Even better if they waste the Snapfire ult. Oops, sorry, that was a little fast. Enemy team's kind of like snowballing this a bit. Mute up. Yeah, so I wouldn't feel too bad about losing this game as a whole, since Sand King started off DC'd. And that haunt was something. It's definitely not. I don't think that's the haunt team wants. I think what you're doing is okay, because I don't really feel like our team can defend this mid tower. So I would just shove out bottom, but I would maybe do it a little faster. So for example, here, like you see all of them. Okay, you see 4 of them, but that essentially means like you're okay. So I would run out here and like start auto attacking these a bit, just to push a little faster, because that will create a sense of pressure that they'll either back off. In this case, if I were them, I wouldn't back off either. But at least like then you'll pressure this tower sooner, and that helps your team. At this point, I do think you have to TP back though. You do have to like give your best at the T3. So I think right now is probably like a good time to TP up here. Get ready to like ult with this guy. Unfortunately, you don't have Spectre Haunt anymore. Tilted out of the game at this point. Yeah, I would still try at the T3. I I jokingly say a lot, like, I haven't lost Frax, so I haven't lost hope. A lot of people will throw on the high ground. So I do think starting to split push is good, and then once they get here, TP back and give it a shot. Even if you probably would still lose, you know, at least you'll, maybe, you know, there's a chance. Alright, looks like this one is done. Yeah. So yeah, I think you could be a bit more aggressive in the lane, especially with these guys who are a little low armor and a bit fragile, a bit slow. I think you could start Orb of Venom in this lane if you wanted to. I also think your build is okay. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about losing the game at the whole point, because of the Sand King being gone. It's like really rough. Let's see the net worth. How did Spectre do? So all in all, Spectre and Pudge are relatively close. I do think this is a lane you could have won. Oh, AA is quite poor though, so technically you guys did win. I don't think that's fully your fault since Spectre did die a couple times, like getting hooked. That salve case is one case where maybe you could have saved her life. Even if she's not communicating, just like do it. But then otherwise, not too bad. Lots of half pulls you were trying. And that's pretty good because a lot of times it's easy to forget the pulls and just like sit in the lane a lot. Yeah. You have any other questions on it? Oh, and then instead of Vlad's, I don't think Vlad's works well. Okay, Vlad's works well with LC, but it doesn't work that well with Spectre. So it's like, okay. If LC was doing really well and you wanted to play a lot with Sand King and like the 4 of you while Spectre farms, then I'm kind of okay with the Vlads. But you have to be ready to like to do that, to make that kind of team plays. All good. Sure. With Spectre, there's like 2 choices. You either play... Okay, there's always going to be more than that. But I think with Treant Protector, you either play aggressively and like make space for her, or you end up healing a lot and going to do a lot of pulls. Kind of like in the game I played right before this replay analysis. Yeah. And then maybe remembering to deny your own sentry so that the hard camp starts to spawn, so then you can make use of the hard camp. That would also help do a bit of lane control. Because honestly, if Pudge AA pull the lane, once you guys get a couple levels, I think Treant is like kind of okay contesting that. Especially because you can just like throw out your Nature's Grasp and make it very difficult for them to stand there. Like it's not the worst if they make the pull. You don't want them to use it like while you're level 1, 2, a lot like 1 or 2, but then after that it's kind of okay. Okay then. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We're going to do another one, but I will end the recording here. Goodbye.